Right here.
Why?
Because the guy's right there.
Oh, this is a
Okay.
Made it back out to the Susquehanna. It's early March. Just getting set up, getting ready to go out. Hopefully it'll be a good day. It's kind of early, a little bit chilly out. We usually come later in April, but we had a weekend where, we thought conditions were going to be good. It was a little bit warmer. It ended up being a little chilly day, a little slow in the beginning, but then it started picking up. So here we're at one of the boat ramps, putting in right on the Susquehanna. It's actually a pretty good spot because there is a feeder creek that actually meets up here along the Susquehanna. And what you can usually do is, in the early season, fish out on the main river, look for bass, smallmouth bass, and there's certain points along the river, especially where it meets up with this creek, where they can start to group up right at the mouth, and then it could also be up in the creek already, but I think it's kind of early, and as we saw throughout the
We're not
day,
gonna move. We're just
there
gonna
wasn't
throw it
much
there.
activity in the creek, but right at the mouth is where we actually had good activity, found a bunch of bass, grouped up, and were able to catch on those for a good amount of time. So here we are on the main part of the river. This is actually the first catch of the day. We're using just quarter ounce jig heads with swim bait, white swim bait, and that usually has produced pretty well for us.
It's right here.
You'll see we'll switch up throughout the day, either using tubes or different color swim baits. As you'll find fishing the Susquehanna, there's going to be a lot of structure, rocks that you can get tangled up in, and you'll be losing rigs throughout the day. But yeah, here's the first fish. Pretty good one too. So after about a half hour fishing here on the main river,
All right, this looks juicy.
caught a couple
Let's see
more
what we can do.
smaller fish. Decided to move upriver to these rapids that usually produce. The fish tend to like the faster water,
Right in
and
here, this
just
deep
throwing
pocket.
jigging through there with like
This is like slow
some
water.
type of crawdad imitation, usually catch them. But on this day, we fished it for about a little bit over an hour and didn't really catch anything. So after fishing the Susquehanna, a handful of times, it's really just finding out where the fish are at. Moving out to the main river, trying to find some faster water, and then just moving ourselves around. And then what we found is that a lot of the fish were stacking up right in front of where the creek met up with the river. And then later on, we found out they were actually started to move up the creek, and we found a bunch of smallmouth bass. The water was actually really low. We couldn't go any further upriver, just stayed pretty much under these bridge passes, working around trying to find where the fish are at. But you could actually see the fish
Right here.
moving around.
Why?
Because the guy's right there.
Oh, this is a
Okay. Let me just turn it around.
Dude, it was huge.
All right, we'll work it.
And then when we get to this one point between these two pilings, there was a ton of smallmouth just stacked up. And for about 2 hours, we were just working this section, catching the fish, and then some other guides that were on the river started moving in, and they were catching them as well. It was a pretty good time. Not many big fish here, but there was a lot. You know, if you know our motto, big or small, we fish for them all. Just as it was getting to the end of the day, we decided to try the main river one more time, and it ended up being a good call. Mason catches a nice smallmouth just right before we're about to leave, and that ends the day.